Alright, ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome back to the Rum Director channel. My name is Christian and I'd like to introduce you to my good friend TJ. TJ has very kindly brought me this beautiful bottle of Glenfiddich 21, which we're going to have a quick drink of this evening. I'm going to give it a good sample, so stay tuned and we'll see you in a second after we put on the intro. Thanks so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now welcome back. So, obviously you see I've got my little my trusty notepad with me here again. So, Tej, thanks so much for bringing this bottle along. It's, honestly, I'm a big rum fan. I know that you're a huge whiskey fan. It's fantastic. It's actually an honour and a privilege to be able to open this bottle with you.
I wasn't always a whiskey fan though. Even though I went to university in Scotland for 4 years, throughout that entire period I hated whiskey. That was because whiskey is, until I found out later on, is incredibly complex, more so than wine. Wine, I believe, has 6 tasting notes, whereas whiskey has 12. So in wine you have vegetables, spice, tannins, fruit, so forth and so on. However, with whiskey, you have another added, well, twice the complexity because you have other notes such as smoke, peat, and so forth. So when I was at university, obviously I tried a couple of whiskies, also a couple of bourbons, but I found them very harsh and it wasn't my go-to sort of drink. I went to a well-known financial institution's fund managers Burns Night Supper. And part of that, we had a 5-course or 6-course dinner.
Sounds rather jolly.
And with each course, we had a different whiskey. And we had a gentleman there who had written many books. He's a well-known author on whiskey, presenting each one, describing it to us, and sort of describing why he's paired it with the food that we had in that particular course. And it was through that I began to understand whiskey a lot better and appreciate it more. And then the next step was when I was given actually 2 bottles of this.
Wow.
As a present. So yeah,
That's
very
one heck of a present.
Yeah, it was very generous.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, this bottle currently is on the Whiskey Exchange for around about 110, 120 pounds, depending on where you get it delivered to, and depending on the tax situation of that country. So this is the Glenfiddich aged 21 in a Reserva Rum Cask. This is a 21-year-old whiskey that has been put into Jamaican rum barrels, and I think you know much more about it than I do.
It spends 2 years, I believe, in a sherry cask before it's then finally spends 2 years in a rum cask. As sort of it also tells you on the box all this information, but it's, the rum casks are from the Caribbean. So yeah, you get this very sort of rich, sort of full of toffee, as we'll find, banana and vanilla. It's very exotic and very different. I mean, personally, the kind of whiskies I like tend to be sort of more sweet and to have hints of toffee, such as Dalmore. Dalmore is another sort of big.
So you're not a fan of very smoky whiskies like Big Smoke, like Smokehead?
No, I definitely don't like peaty whiskies, but I do like smoky whiskies, and this one has a little bit of smoke. But it's subtle.
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Glenfiddich. As you guys know, I'm mostly a much bigger rum fan. But when I find that I've learned to appreciate the complexities, as TJ says, of a very good whiskey, and I think that when you combine whiskey and rum, they got so much in common. And I think a lot of people would say that whiskey is probably ranked higher than rum in the world. And I don't think there's any doubt. If you look at any airport, you'll find that you'll see the wall of whiskey definitely takes dominance over what the rum has. The rum you tend not to be looking on the main wall in key view. You tend to be looking around there and you're trying to guess a difference between a Zacapa and a good Bacardi. So it's great to be able to, first of all, thank you again for bringing this beautiful bottle. I think I've had 1 or 2 bottles of this in the past, and I've every bottle of Glenfiddich, when it's been blended with another one, I've had 24 in a sherry cask. They did this discovery series for quite some time, and if you can find a bottle of that, go ahead. I would almost say price, no question. It is one of the best whiskeys. Glenfiddich, over 20 years old, 21, 24 years old. You cannot go wrong with it. So,
well, you pay for that privilege.
You know what? You pay for the privilege. This is a whiskey that you definitely do not. If you mix this whiskey with anything, I think it's like those horror stories. I used to work in hospitality industry, and I've got friends of mine who have been sommeliers, and they've had some people saying that they've had clients ordering a 50-year-old wine, and then they've had clients who have mixed it with Coca-Cola. If you mix this bottle with Coca-Cola, trust me, there is some chap up in the Highlands who has spent his life becoming a well-known whiskey distiller, who has signed off in every bottle. In fact, I believe we have the name of the chap who did this bottle here. Yes, Brian Kinsman. When this whiskey's been tainted by Brian Kinsman, who is a malt master. Yes, there are masters of this. And no doubt, because the whiskey sommeliers, as TJ can absolutely has already voiced, they're a very picky bunch, almost as much as the wine sommeliers. I have no idea how they taste all these things. I think it takes a dedication to it and to really grind in.
You've got to have a gifted palate, really.
You've got to have a very good palate. I think it's, I think you've said that there. It's like tasting food. So look, right now we've got a couple, as TJ's recommended, we've got one large ball of ice each in our glasses. Now, just a quick thing on the tasting notes. I do like to read these things out because I always find them rather entertaining. This bottle is from batch number 56. It is a single malt, so each single malt will taste slightly differently. Glenfiddich says it is rich, sweet and exotic. That the tasting notes are of ginger, fig, lime, and with a vibrant, spicy toffee warmth. I have to say, just on reading this alone,
sounds pretty delicious.
Sounds pretty delicious. Now, TJ, would you like to do the honours in opening this bottle? There'll be pictures later, and you can see the pictures of the liquid itself up on my Instagram at the Rum Direct. So please go ahead.
I'll try not to spill it anyway.
Well, TJ, spilling it on this apartment, I think that Dionysus would be extremely happy.
Might pass your glass.
And it's got a proper wood cork, which, as you know from my last video,
a bit more.
Oh, please, as much or as little. So, notepad goes flying away. Oops, hit the camera there, as the pen. I'll be picking that up later. I have no cigars on me this time, but if I were to be smoking a cigar right now, I would definitely be pairing this with a very chin. Slanjava. Cheers.
So the reason I prefer to have a big ball of ice on that is that I was taught again at this dinner, this Burns night supper, that if you add just a drop of water in your whiskey, it helps separate all the different flavours and tasting notes in the whiskey. So when you are a professional, let's say whiskey taster, such as the guy who was hosting or sort of leading this dinner or this whiskey tasting experience, he would always put a bit of water in a new whiskey which he was tasting for the first time, just so he could fully appreciate each and every different tasting note within the whiskey.
Now, if you don't have big rocks like this, which you can get ice molds like this that are becoming much easier, you can either get stones, which I do have, which you leave in the freezer, because it helps just to cool it down and, as TJ says, separate all the notes out. But you don't put any more, if you're sitting with regular ice cubes, no more than 2 rocks in with a single malt. Otherwise, it will liquefy too much. Rums, there are certain many rums you can put in 2 or 3, 4 ice cubes happily, and it won't destroy. But whiskey has got a very delicate flavour to it. And I say it is delicious, and as it said in there, that warm, that vibrant, spicy toffee, you can absolutely taste it. You got that nice combination of that hot and cold.
The rum cask is it's very, very noticeable. It's can't be mistaken. Well, it's definitely completely different to a sherry cask or was it green oak cask?
No, I mean, on the smell alone. Now, one of the tricks when you're tasting a wine or a whiskey is that you bring it in, take a deep breath in first.
You have to let it warm on the palate.
What you do is you bring it, take a sip of it, aerate it in your mouth a little bit, swallow, and as you swallow, you breathe out, which it sounds weird. I learned this at Swiss Hotel Management School, where I went to university, during our wine and bar class, where the wine teacher, a very nice Swedish chap called Mr. Kronenblad, thank you so much again, sir, he taught us how to separate, he taught us these different techniques, and it really helps when you breathe out through the nose, you actually feel much more of the flavour, and it sounds counterproductive, but you really taste much more of it and extracts the flavour when you do it. It works with wine, whiskey, rum, tequila. Even though I wouldn't do tequila because it's just pure fire, or even an 80% rum like straw rum, which I'm doing my next video on.
Good tequila is very popular.
A good tequila is very popular.
And mezcal.
And mezcal, but it's the drink of the devil, don't you think? It is the drink of the devil. It's like someone saying, yeah, I drink Bacardi 151 non-stop. Just because it might taste good.
I think Dwayne Johnson, all he drinks is Don Julio, isn't it?
Probably because he gets paid a fortune to do it.
Probably.
I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson. When I'm not working out at 4 AM, I'm drinking Don Julio with a slice of lime and a cerveza. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll give you a quick look at the bottle itself, get a nice close-up so you can really appreciate it, trying to get it in. If the camera turns it around, which probably will do, and you can read backwards, brilliant for you. As I said, right now you can actually find this on the Whiskey Exchange. I shall include a link in the description down below. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you have any comments, any other whiskies, rums that you want me to review with a friend or solo, please let me know. And it's been a great privilege to have my friend TJ here today.
It's good fun.
Everyone's got different, everyone's got different tastes and everyone's got different passions. When TJ is not doing his day job, he is a whiskey connoisseur. And if you want TJ to start doing his own series on whiskies, again, write down in the comment section below and I'll try to convince him to do this on a more frequent basis.
It's going to take a lot of online bullying to convince
TJ, thank you so much. Well, I've got some good bourbon over there, so you want to come over and do another video with me on that?
Mate, as a Somerset man, I'm looking forward to smashing a couple of your ciders.
Well, yeah, we do have a couple of ciders which are about to get smashed in. I'll be doing a video on the comparing Thundering Molly, which is a Herefordshire cider, which is nice and dry, and at the same time not sweet. It's nice and refreshing, to the French ciders. And being a proud Brit on occasion when I have my German flag flying, I will say that English cider is the best cider in the world. Irish, it's overdone, it's oversold. We like Magners, but it's going to leave your teeth full of holes. Trust me, I know.
A lot of the apples come from Somerset, in actual fact.
Yes. Well, Magners they use, now before we get on to cider properly, yeah, it's owned by the Bulmers family, isn't it? Magners, and Bulmers is from Somerset. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been the Rum Director, my name is Christian, this has been TJ, you guys have been wonderful for staying with us so long. Until then, TJ, cheers, thanks so much, it's been a privilege. What a joy.